Listen to the Vibes.
Welcome to another episode of Listen to the Vibes. I have here Mr. Mark Toland, and he is a mind reader. And so that's got to come in handy if you're married.
This is true. Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate you. I grew up in the Midwest. I'm from a small town in southeast Kansas, not far from the northern Oklahoma border or the western Missouri border. So way down there in the corner of the state. Yeah, I had a decent sized family. You know, two parents, three siblings, older sister, two younger brothers, and we were kind of always into an eclectic mix of things. I like to think my sister played piano. I played a couple instruments. My brothers and I were very into, I was very into like the circus arts. So we had like a unicycle and a pogo stick and stilts. We loved building things and sports and all that good stuff. But my biggest interest from a young age was magic, was kind of like mental magic, maybe you want to call it, or psychological magic. I would do shows maybe, as young as like 4 or 5 for like kindergarten, you know, and then talent shows in school. Eventually my mom or dad would drive me, you know, an hour away to a public library to do a show for kids, you know, just a couple years younger. And I'm sure I was terrible, but it was those early days of experience of doing a show and getting, you know, someone handing you an envelope with a little bit of cash in it and saying, good job, that made me realize like, hey, maybe there's something to this. Maybe, you know, you can get paid for having a skill. And if you give a service to people, then they appreciate it and take care of you on their end of things. And so I just kind of always stuck with that. I went to theater school. I started at USC out in LA, which is kind of like a dream school because I'm from a tiny town. I was like, I want to go to Hollywood. I want to be around all the stuff on the coast. And I was there about a year, maybe into the summer after my freshman year. And then, you know, a bunch of circumstances, death in the family and a few other things made me have to come back to Kansas because, you know, it's outrageously expensive to go to school there and I just couldn't afford it. And so I finished at state school. I finished at Wichita State, still in theater, still doing acting, singing, trying to dance, not very good. And I met my wife in one of those dance classes. She could overlook the fact that I was a horrible dancer. You know, once we got out of school, we got married and moved up here to Chicago, which is where I live now. And I've been a full-time mentalist or mind reader, however you want to think of it, for I think just over a decade now.
Tell me, how did you like develop that skill of the mind reading and like mental magic?
Yeah, you know, well, I was into like sleight of hand. I was always drawn to that. I was always drawn to like skill-based things like juggling or playing piano or something like that. And so sleight of hand was very tactile. You know, it was something I could sit for, you know, when I had 3 siblings running around the house and we all have different activities, I could have a deck of cards there and just be learning something. And that was helpful to maybe my confidence, my public speaking skills, my motor skills and coordination, all those things. I think magic is a great thing for someone if you're part of a big family and maybe, you know, you don't, you know, your parents have divided time between you or something, or if you are shy or any of those things. I don't think my parents ignored me really. I think I had very good parents, fortunate in that aspect. And I don't think I was very shy. But I do think I was drawn to this kind of, I could learn a skill and show people and delight them, amaze them. So I stuck with that. But I remember from a young age, doing some kind, I forget exactly what it was, but it was a talent show and the principal was like my participant, which was very kind of scary, but he thought of like a number and I told him the number he was thinking of, you know, this mind reading trick. And he was flabbergasted. I was like, wow, here's this guy who, you know, I'm intimidated when he walks down the halls. You know, I want to make sure I don't get in trouble and all these things. And now I have the upper hand for 2 minutes when I guess the number he's thinking of. So it wasn't about like a domineering thing, but it did make me feel like, wow, there's something to this psychological side of things as opposed to like, you know, your card is in my pocket or something. So that was kind of a flip for me where I wanted to do the more mental side of magic than the maybe, you know, it's like magic with thoughts instead of magic with props, right? So I wanted to go that route. And I was also, I've traced this back more to like, I was always into detective stuff. So I like the Hardy Boys. I got a full set somewhere in the other room out there. I got a fascination with Sherlock Holmes. You know, now it's like the BBC version, but I used to read that growing up and just be so fascinated by that, by detective work and people observing and analyzing and putting together clues and working towards solving a crime or some kind of solution or something. And I think that has played a big role in my interest in this, because it feels like that. It feels like that on stage. I'm obviously an illusionist. I'm using psychological trickery and all these things, but it feels very much as if I'm like a psychological detective in many ways, or something. Like I'm kind of on the hunt for a clue. Ooh, you did this, and that's why you're thinking this, or something. And it's a fun thing that has come out because of that. Those kinds of that wide array of interests I had growing up, from circus arts to magic to detective work, and it's kind of in theater, it's all come to a head, and somehow been my job for 10 years now.
If I said, okay, I'm thinking of a number, you'd be able to figure out what number I'm thinking of?
Possibly. Even better though, picture the number on a blackboard, but erase it.
Okay.
And then just think of maybe you just think like you're in first grade, and that you were going to draw a picture on that blackboard instead of something very basic, right? So what picture comes to mind? What kind of drawing? Something simple.
Ooh, good question.
First thing that pops in your head, what would you say?
For some reason, fire comes into my mind.
Fire. Okay, but put yourself. I like it, but it might be a little too advanced for like first grade, right? So put yourself back in first grade and make it and simplify it even more, like just a very simple object or some kind of thing you would have done back then.
Oh, well, back then I was always drawing footballs. So
footballs. Okay, I like it. Well, I know we're on audio, but there is video of this, and if you want to share, you can. But I will describe to everyone where I am, because I've been doing virtual shows. So I'm in a room with curtains behind me and stuff, but I'm sure you noticed this clip right here. I've got a big binder clip with a piece of paper in it. This is part of my my show. And this piece of paper has been here from the beginning. You can verify for everyone listening. It's been here the whole time. I put a piece of paper in it earlier, and this is just in case we did something. So I will show you. I had an image in mind. Now, you could have gone for any kind of thing: a house, a car, a flower, a tree, a cat, a dog. There's a lot of things. But you said a football. This is what I had in mind. I'm pretty happy. It's not necessarily specific, but I was picturing a ball. So
that's pretty crazy. That's pretty daggum close.
That's not bad at all. Of all the things you could have thought of.
Exactly.
About that number, I'll write you a message. I think you still have is it up to 100? Just up to 100?
We'll say it's in and around 100.
Okay, yeah, go. Just a number up to 100 is good, I think.
Okay.
You got a number in mind?
Yes.
I wrote you a little message here. Okay, so to everyone watching, I wrote a message, and I'll show you. But tell me, what was the number?
59.
Sorry?
59.
Oh, 59. Okay. Well, this is pretty good. I wrote you a message. It says, Kyle will say.
Oh, how the heck did you do that?
59.
That's freaking nuts. That is freaking nuts. Man, I see. I would love to learn how to do something like that. I mean, you've taken this and you've made a business out of it. You go to like corporate kind of things and do this and
right. Like an employee banquet, or they do their awards once a year, their convention or something. So I'll do anything from after dinner shows to hosting the whole thing. And it's a real niche kind of market. There's a lot of performers like me out there doing this that no one will ever hear their names, but they make a decent living, and they really, I think they provide a great service because it's so unusual and outside the box of what people are used to seeing. They go in and just, destroy a room and blow people's minds and then like vanish into the night, basically, never to be heard from again. So It's a fun thing. Like I said, it's a lot of work to get the shows and find the clients and do those things. But that's the work worth doing, because at the end of that long journey of phone calls and emails and all the things that come with it is a show, is a room of people who you get to amaze, is a group of people you can connect with and share some mystery, some laughs, some things like that. So those are the reminders and the things to hold on to that make maybe all the other stuff that comes before it worth doing.
Let's showcase your abilities once more, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'll show you this because, I guess a couple of things you were thinking of, but it's what's really fun is I've done maybe over 100 virtual shows since March, which is wild. I went from like, am I unemployed now? Losing all my work to it getting all turned over into like a Zoom format.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I've been trying is to see if I can like project a thought, basically through the screen, through the camera, and get you to pick up on something. So what I use a pack of cards, which is what I do in the show, and I would let you hold these. I'll just hang on to them right here in plain sight, since I can't hand them to you. But I will tell you about this deck. What I did is I took one card out last night now and turned it over, popped it back in facing the other way. So that means there are 51 cards going one way, one card going the other. And the goal is for me to kind of send you this card and get you to guess it. Okay, so we'll do it in stages. Do you think it's a black card or a red card?
A black card.
Black card. Okay, so that'd be club or spade. Which one?
It would be a spade.
Okay, and low or high?
Low.
Okay, so that'd be ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7.
It would. You want to make the number that I'm thinking of?
Yeah. Which one?
5.
5 of spades.
Yes.
5 of spades. So you put all that together now, and I like doing it in stages, because if you were thinking like 10 of hearts as a favorite card, that's not how you piece it together. It's random. So 5 of spades. I'll be very fair, and I'll kind of narrate this so everyone just listening knows, but I was holding a deck of cards in plain sight. I just took it out of the box. I'm going to spread through, and you will see that there is one card in the middle facing the other way.
Okay.
Only one card, and that is...
Oh, get out of town. 5 of
That's the 5 of
spades.
spades.
That is nuts. I've got to learn how to do that. If I randomly pick something in my room that I'm looking at, would you be able to guess what it is that I'm looking at?
I'm not exactly sure. But we should say to everyone listening, you have some pretty cool stuff in the room. So I'm guessing I probably wouldn't know because of what an eclectic collection of things you have back there behind you. And the thing about me is, like, I don't claim any psychic abilities. So these are all like, kind of experiments and setup kind of stunts that I'm just trying to see if I can execute. So, because of that, I'm totally happy to say I can't do it, because I'm not really a mind reader. I'm an entertainer. But by that token, I would be interested to know maybe what it was.
What I'm looking at is a hockey stick.
Oh, a hockey stick. Okay. Oh, I like that.
I got to where I really love hockey, and so there's a place 5 minutes from here. I actually worked security there for a while, and they have a rink in there. They have the Texas Stars. And
now, you said you did security. So when you were doing security, you saw tons of people just coming in. You're like at the door or the entrance to the arena or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So was there like a person that you always saw, like a favorite person that always came in or something? Someone that comes to mind that's like you know what I mean? Like, I remember like the lady who worked at the cafeteria in the dorms. I remember her name. I always saw her. Something. Is there someone like that who was like on staff, or someone that was like that?
Oh yeah.
Like what's that person's name?
Oh my God, I cannot remember her name. She was much older lady. I mean, like close to my grandma's age. And
what was your grandma's name?
My grandma's name's Florence.
Florence. Got it. Oh, that's nice. So yeah, and I have a lot of people like that I've worked for. Like when I was doing shows, those were the people who took care of me. Like, oh, I'll hire this little 6-year-old punk to do a show or something like that, because they could see something in me that was like, I was just trying to use some skill and make a little extra money. It was like mowing a lawn or being a lifeguard, it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
I'm just curious about it. I just wondering. That's awesome. I did not know about hockey in Texas, to be honest. I did not know. You kind of put me on the spot with your hockey stick. I wasn't sure about it. I will say though, again, I don't know video wise and stuff, but there's a bottle. I don't know if you noticed this bottle and stuff over my shoulder. That's for the show. So usually what I do is I write a message that has to do with like a big audience, and I write one every morning. But this makes so much more sense to me now, Kyle. So let me show you what's in it. I'll be fair here. I'll show you what's in it. There is a message, and it's a little folded up slip paper. So I got to get the message out, and to do it, I have to use these kind of tongs. So I will show you. I'll be very fair here. Give me 1 second, because this is very kind of tricky, but I'll see if I can see what I mean. It's kind of, there we go. You can see that coming out. I'm using some tongs to take a bright yellow piece of paper out of the bottle that's been in there since this morning. So obviously, this is my message in a bottle, and it's just a few ideas because I got a virtual show later, but I think I need to rewrite tonight's show for something else because this makes more sense for you. If you remember, this is written for a bunch of people, but I think this makes more sense. I said someone will pick fire. I remember asking you to draw a picture, and you said fire in your mind. That was like the first thing, right?
Yes.
So that's why that makes total sense to me now. Even though you did get to the ball that I had in mind, fire was your first choice. So this makes a whole lot more sense to me. And I also said one person will remember Florence.
Oh my God.
So that's why I was asking for a name. I was just curious if that made sense. And finally, usually I have someone like search their house for something, but you just kind of thought of something. So that's why I said, and the search kept secret will be a hockey stick.
That is absolutely nuts. And then for people to find you in the future, is there a website that they could go to?
Oh yeah, I'm marktoland.com, MarkToland.com. I write a daily blog about kind of like, it's kind of like a behind the scenes look at the life of a professional entertainer, I guess. And it's, I kind of just share a bunch of creative thoughts for creative people. And then, I have a YouTube channel that I update kind of infrequently, but it's where I put all the show clips and the media appearances and those sorts of things that I have over there. So that's really the place, at the website, the YouTube channel, and the blog. Other than that, it's all a mystery, but all my live dates are on the website. And when we get back to that, again, maybe I'll see you down there in Texas or something like that.
I'd like to thank you, Mr. Toland, for being here. Everybody take care.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network